Hi guys, we have done some few things, some playlists on PowerShell, on Teams, and on Azure and all of that, but we have not worked on Microsoft SharePoint Online. So that is the essence of the beginning of this playlist. In the previous video, we have seen how to navigate, and we see the requirement of getting to the SharePoint Admin Center, and at this point we want to move to the next item within the SharePoint Administrative Center. So the very first one there is sites. So in sites you have active sites and then you have deleted sites, right? So looking at active sites, if you click on active sites, you are going to get all the sites that will have in your environment. And generally, I would say basically there are two types of sites. So you have the Teams site and then you have the communication sites. All right. So but when you have other types of sites that are not much common, all right. So if I click on, okay, so just to say, what you see here now is the list of the sites that are available in this environment. Okay, so if you look at them, there are some that have the Teams status, and while some do not have Teams status. Generally, I would say even though it is not what it is when you dive right deep into it, the ones or the teams that have Teams icon, or the sites that have Teams icon, have presence in the Microsoft Teams environment, as in the Microsoft Teams client interface. So what it means is that they are Teams sites, while the ones that do not have the Teams icon can generally, I will still use the word generally on the high level, can be communication sites. Even though there are some Teams sites, if you have not added Team to that site or make it enable the Team status, then the Teams icon will still not display even though it is a Teams site. I hope somebody is not getting confused by that explanation, but when we go right deep into it, we will understand what I am trying to explain even further. So if you look at this, two things can happen. If I click on create here now, what will come up is an option for me to create a site, right? Then I can also create a site by going into the Teams client, creating a team, and it will replicate here on SharePoint. But having said that, if you come to create a site, what options do you have? You have the option to create a team site, and what is a team site going to do for you? It's going to help you track and stay updated on project status. It's going to help you share Teams resources and co-author content. It's going to be like all the site owners and member can publish site content, and it's going to be giving you the option that you can connect to other teams products, right? Then communication sites, generally to share information that engage a broad audience. But look at something: you create a portal and a subject focused site, you engage dozen or thousand of viewers, now few content authors and many site visitors. So that is what this is going to do for you. Few people administrating or administering on this group, posting information for people to read, while this is more of a collaborative interface for people to share content and have option to co-author on them. So that is just it. Now there are other sites that are available when you are creating sites from SharePoint. So if you explore them, then you are going to see lots of other options for you, right? If you click on here, you have document center, you have enterprise wiki, you have publishing portal, you have content center, you have if you click on this, you have more templates, right? And you can decide to pick up a template, let's say a document center for electronic document management system, where you're going to bring up files there. So these are the more granular types of sites. But with the team site and the communication site, trust me, you'll be able to do whatever those other sites are doing for you conveniently without disturbing yourself. So the type of site I want us to create here right now on this call is team's site only. So what you do now is you hit on this. So if you hit on this, it will tell you to use, if you want to use templates, depends on what you are looking for. So if, for example, you are creating a team that is going to be, having to do with crisis management, or interacting or collaborating on crisis management, then you may want to pick the crisis communication team. So what is this going to do for you? The applications that you are going to be using for that crisis management, the different channels that you are supposed to have people in with their names will just automatically get created for you. Then if it's employee onboarding, this is about HR or something, they can decide to pick the option to use employee onboarding. Then events planning, if that's what you want to do, you can decide to pick that up. Then stock collaboration, retail management, all of that. We have series of templates here. You have training course. So maybe what I just want to pick is, I could use the standard, which is just going to give me like the general landing. So let me just first of all use that one, and I'm just going to call it so look at it, it's just telling me. So if I'm fine with it, it's telling me how the interface is going to look here. So I'll just use template, and then this is now going to, I'm just going to call it SharePoint playlist. So that is the name of the site that I just want us to create. And then site description is very important because of people who also have access to this interface. So you can say this is for a demo session, just so people know it, even though it is not compulsory, but it is very important that you include it while creating your site. Now this is saying that what is the group email address, right? It's just picking it now, and then what is here is that this is the site's address, and then you have options to, so this is coming from the tenants pillars concept.sharepoint, means pillars concept.sites, right? And then it's saying that it is SharePoint. So what you can do, if you want to remove anything from the URL to make it shorter, you can do it from here, right? So it will just test it to validate that there is no other site bearing that name. At this point is where you give it an owner of the site. So I just want to put myself as an owner, and that is compulsory. In short, in the subsequent video I will show you the implication of not having or making yourself a member of a site that you are creating from the SharePoint admin center, right? So I'll just click on next. So if I click on next, this is privacy setting. I can decide to say I want to make it a private site, but by default it is coming as a private site. I can decide to click here and make it public, or I can decide to leave it as private. So if I leave it as public, it means that anyone in my organization can access the site. So if I make it private, it means that only people that have only members can have access to this site, right? So having said that, it is time for you to select the language. Now, very important thing that you need to know is that you cannot change the language of a site after it has been created. So this is saying select the default site language for your site. You cannot change this later, so you have to be aware of what you are choosing. Even though the time zone is here, you can still change the time zone if you feel that the time zone needs to change, but for the language you cannot change it. So having looked at that, you've given it a name and you've done all of that, the next thing you want to do is to hit on create site, and then it will ask you if you want to add member. Now, adding owner was compulsory, but adding member is optional. So this is just going to load the site creation or applying the template that you have chosen for it to be able to give you the option to click on finish. So it is opportunity for you to at this point add member to the site if you want to add member to it now. So you can add member while you are creating the site, or you can decide to add member even when the site has been created. So if I check, I don't let me just check someone that I know I have in this tenant, and then maybe add this guy to the site. I would decide what role I want this guy to have on this site. Is this going to be an owner, a co-owner with me, or is it going to be just a member of the site. So I can decide to pick this, and then I just leave him as a member of this site now, and then I hit on finish. So if I click on finish, what is going to happen is that the site is going to be created, and then I know that we gave it SharePoint, so I'm just going to search for SharePoint, and then it should come up now among the list of the sites that I have, right? So it's just trying, I've just hit it and it's still trying to, maybe I'll just refresh here, and then we search for that site that we created, and then we go to the site itself and see how it looks. Okay, I'm just refreshing it. Alright, so we are here now. So if I scroll, I should be able to see the site that I just created, SharePoint playlist. This is it. So for you to go to the site, so if you click on it this way, if you have access, so it is not, if you don't make yourself an owner or a member, you will not be able to, have the site. And you can see it's saying that add team, and then it's saying SharePoint list, SharePoint playlist, add team. So if I click on add team, that is when you see that team status that I showed you earlier. But then let's leave it first, and then we click on site address. So when we click on site address, what is going to happen now is that we are going to the site that we just created, and we can decide to now work on the interface and try to make some changes that suit us. So I'm not ready to go through that. I'll just say no. So what's happening now is that you can see that we have the site open, we have the home, we have the conversations that are there, we have some stuffs around it. I just clicked something, just hold on, let it come back. So when it comes this way, so what I want you to even look at is I want to come here to say teams.microsoft.com, just so you see that before I click on the status of the teams to enable it, so you will not see the teams icon there. Like, look at it, it is not here right now, because so we picked a team site, but we do not have the teams icon because we have not added a team. So that's what I was trying to explain, that you could have a team site that is not showing the team status here for it. So it is not generally correct if you say all the sites that do not have the team status are communication sites. Okay, so if I come here now, I'm trying to load up my teams, and I come to my teams, I'm definitely not going to see SharePoint. This is ShareGate, don't get it twisted. I want to see, you see that we don't have SharePoint playlist as a team here, right? So if I come to this place, and then they are going to be, you look at something here, add team. You can see here that I am add team, and then you can also have that option here to add team. So you can see that option somewhere here, add team. So you can either add it here or add it here. Now if I click on add team, so what happens is that it tells me bring resources from this site into Teams for real-time collaboration all in one place. Teams make it easier to chat your colleague, coordinate with online friends, and all of that. So if I click on continue, and so what's going to happen is going to create a document library and all of that for me, right? So I'll just click on add team. So what happens now is if I refresh my Teams admins, and my Teams client, I am going to see SharePoint playlist showing there for me. So I'm just going to refresh here now. You would see that the team was not created from Teams, but it is coming all the way because Teams has been added to the SharePoint site that was created. So it's just going to load, and I'm going to show you that it is here now. It's not supposed to take time to come. So let's just look for it. Let me scroll up and scroll down. Yeah, look at it here, showing SharePoint playlist. So what it means is that if I upload anything here in the general, and I come to the SharePoint site here, and I come to document, it means that I'm going to see that content inside the general folder here, right? So there is handshake between what is happening there and what is happening here, which I will still look at in the subsequent video. So I'm just going to wrap this up by showing you that you can also start creating this site by picking up a template. So we are still on team site, right? By picking up a template that was already created for for you. Let's say for crisis management, you are picking this, and then you are giving it a name, right? Just say templates crisis management. I will just put MGT, right? So if you do this, you will just follow the same way that we followed to use the other template. Bring up an owner, click on next, add member optional, click on create, and that is going to be created for you in the same way that the crisis management template showed up there. I hope you've been able to learn something. So the summary of this video is how to navigate to the SharePoint Admin Center, go to the active side, create a team side from the standard template, and then add team. Come to teams to check that the site is replicating directly to the team's clients. So I hope you're able to learn something from this. Just stay tuned while we will move on to the next one. Have a nice day. Peace.